You walk down these streets every day, but you may be surprised where Chapel Hill's hotspots for crime are located. We'll tell you.
What our campus needs is more guns. At least that's what some people think. We'll tell you why.
Take a lesson from the dead.
Or from the living. The real Remember the Titans coach, Herman Boone, a Black History Month legend.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the UNC School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering Carolina in HD, this is Carolina Week.
Crime. Even a college town like Chapel Hill is not immune, but there are things that you can do. Good evening, I'm Landon Dowdy.
And I'm Sefia Mokpai. And there are places you can avoid, too. Avery Harper has a report on the top crime spots in town.
It was an ordinary day for UNC junior Anissa Jabbar. She was strolling to Panera on Franklin Street. Suddenly, a robber snatched her phone.
I thought it was one of my friends.
But it wasn't. The robber took off running, and Jabbar chased after him.
I yelled, "Can I please have my phone back? Give me back my phone."
With the help of a few bystanders and the Chapel Hill police, Jabbar got her phone back. But she says the incident has left her uneasy.
That's what I realized. I'm not the only victim here.
According to Chapel Hill police, it gets its largest volume of emergency calls from one area, downtown, including hotspot Franklin Street, frequented day and night by UNC students. In 2012, more than 200 crimes happened downtown. Most are classified as larceny. A study from Loyola University in Chicago and the Netherlands Institute says it's not dark areas or isolated walkways like this one that make robbers more likely to act, but businesses like bars, restaurants, and hair salons that make Franklin Street the perfect target for potential robberies.
They're going to target areas where they have more opportunity.
Lieutenant Kevin Gunter says the kind of crime that occurs downtown is expected, given the kinds of businesses you'll find there. Gunter says Chapel Hill police are working to keep the downtown area safe.
We're trying to put officers in areas where we are seeing more crime occur to try to deter that crime.
And even though those officers helped Jabbar recover her cell phone and nab the robber who took it, she says she's much more careful when she walks along Franklin Street. Reporting in Chapel Hill, I'm Avery Harper.
One of the men who murdered former student body president Eve Carson is back in the news tonight. The State Court of Appeals says Lawrence Lovett's prison sentence was too harsh. Lovett was only 17 when he and Demario James Atwater killed Carson. At his trial in 2011, a judge sentenced Lovett to life in prison without parole. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled last year that sentencing juveniles to life without parole is cruel and unusual punishment. No date yet for Lovett's resentencing.
Virginia Tech, Texas A&M, and now add Lone Star Community College in Texas to the list of colleges with shootings on campus. Would stricter gun control have prevented these shootings and others? Some say yes, but reporter Jonathan White found 2 Carolina students who think more guns are the answer.
Grant Anastas King and Stephen De La Vega are seniors at UNC, but unlike most students, they have a concealed carry license. This means they can legally carry a gun, and they do, except on campus where state law prohibits it. But that may change.
When a school is a gun-free zone, it's a target for criminals. When any place is a gun-free zone, it's a target for criminals to come and commit crimes there because they know they'll face no opposition.
Governor Pat McCrory seems to agree. In his first month as governor, he has already pushed for deregulation of guns. He even wants armed teachers on university grounds. Why? So they can protect themselves. De La Vega feels the same way. He knows what it's like to be unarmed and in danger.
I was in a situation where I and those around me were held at gunpoint, and I was completely powerless.
The power to protect themselves. That's what Anastas King and De La Vega want. But allowing guns on campus may not be the best answer. Spokesman for the Department of Public Safety, Randy Young, doesn't think it's safe.
And when you have a lot of different firearms introduced into that scenario, obviously it becomes much more confusing and much more dangerous to a greater percentage of the population.
Anastas King disagrees. He feels like a gun in his hand would only be used for protection.
So it's an act of self-defense as a last-ditch effort, but we want to have that option.
But for now, Anastas King and De La Vega have to leave their guns at home. But they hope that changes in the future. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jonathan White.
Governor Pat McCrory has not made an official proposal to change North Carolina's gun policy just yet. But in a news conference, he suggested there should be armed security and armed professors on every college campus. 14 minutes. That's how fast Memorial Hall sold out 1,400 tickets for this weekend's TEDx UNC event. And this year, a UNC student was chosen to speak. UNC senior Sterling Little is the only student speaker at the event. He was chosen from more than a dozen student applicants. TEDx, which stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design, is a national conference where chosen speakers discuss a cultural topic of their interest. Little says he's passionate about video games, and he plans to use his time to talk about the harassment that female gamers face. The event is Saturday at Memorial Hall, beginning at 9 a.m.
Video games remain a hot topic for other reasons. We talked about guns earlier. The NRA thinks video games, more than guns, are responsible for much of the violence in the country. Even President Obama is asking for funding to study the issue. So, are video games too violent? Brianna Harper has the story.
This is Call of Duty, one of today's most popular video games. Complete with guns, blood, and explosions, this might be the closest thing to a gamer's paradise. At least that's what UNC student Christian Ramesberger thinks.
They're exciting, fun, they're competitive, and everyone plays them, so I guess it's kind of just a big thing.
But could violent video games like Call of Duty be creating a nightmare for our society? Nightmares like the recent shooting rampage in Newtown, Connecticut.
We have a new image of the suspected shooter as we tell you everything we know about who did it, what kind of weapons, and why.
Research shows people who play violently themed video games on the regular basis are more prone to acts of violence and aggression. But how well does the study apply to the average gamer?
Almost every guy I know plays violent video games, and I mean, everyone's not walking around, they're not all, doing violent things. I feel like there's just been like a few bad examples of kids who played violent games and then went off and did bad things.
News reports indicate the average gamer spends about 18 hours a week playing video games. The constant exposure to violent images, like in Call of Duty, may begin to desensitize gamers. Research suggests this may be one of the first factors to spark more aggressive actions.
UNC School of Journalism professor Jane Brown agrees.
What the media are doing is promoting the idea that to be a real man, you carry a big gun. And you shoot it if someone disagrees with you, or you have an argument with someone, or if you're frustrated by something, you just shoot them.
For Christian, just shoot is a motto that he applies only in the virtual world. The fear remains for others, it may mean more. Reporting in Chapel Hill, I'm Brianna Harper.
The student body presidential election is next week, and there are 5 candidates running to replace this guy, Will Lymanstall.
We'll introduce you to all 5 coming up.
Connect with us online by liking the Carolina Week Facebook page and following us on Twitter at Carolina Week UNC.
Hey, you going out like that?
Yeah, why?
Well, what would the neighbors think?
I see you! Come look at Mr. Feather. Look what I have. Mr. Bird, remember? Bark, bark, bark. We're just playing. We're just playing. I'm trying to get you out of here.
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
The ballot is finally settled, and there are 5 candidates running for student body president. Jessica Marker caught up with each of them to find out why they entered the race.
Detroit native majoring in women's studies who likes to watch movies on Netflix in his free time. He says he's running because his work as an activist for gender-neutral housing inspired him.
In the work that I did, I've seen another side of it. I was more on the outside of student government, and I think that it'll be really important to get someone who's already done the activist type work in student government and trying to shake that up and give a new face to what student government can be and what it should be, as a role of advocating for students.
Next up is Rob Jones, a sports administration major from Chapel Hill who likes to shoot hoops when he's not busy studying. He says he's running because he's had experience in the position.
Yeah, I had a really good experience in high school, student government. I was actually student body president senior year, and just connecting with a lot of people and having that experience really kind of inspired me to do it here.
Also on the ballot is Christy Lambden, a political science and philosophy major all the way from Somerset, England, who participates in mock trial in his free time. He says he's running because he believes in the system and wants to promote Carolina's values.
Well, I'm running for student body president because I believe in the power of student representation. I want to be an advocate for students and to protect the values that I believe Carolina's held over the last couple of years.
A bit closer to home, Will Lindsay is a Durham native, majoring in history and political science, who enjoys playing basketball with his friends. He says he's running because he wants to use his public policy knowledge to make the university run smoothly.
I've been passionate about the university and passionate about making it as good a place as possible. I'd love to use my public policy experience to really connect with legislators and engage student organizations in the process of public policy making at UNC.
Last, Hitali Lodaya is a chemistry and public policy major from Chapel Hill who loves to dance. She says she's running because she feels she has the right skills for the position.
Someone who's a really, really strong communicator who can take all the different stakeholders on campus and make sure they're speaking each other's languages. And I think that's a skill that I've built over the years, and that's something that I want to give back to Carolina for everything that it's given to me.
The candidates will face off in the election next Tuesday.
Voting starts next Tuesday on Connect Carolina. Be sure to tune in to Carolina Week Tuesday night at 8 for live election coverage.
What are the best predictors for college success? Some think it's where you come from or whether your parents are rich or poor that have a lot to do with it. Socioeconomic status. Well, that's not what we found in a new study. Reporter Kiara Palmer has more.
Abby Crider is a senior from Clayton. She's one of 6 children and comes from a low-income background. And that status, called low socioeconomic, has often been thought to be a predictor of college success, or lack of it. Crider scored a 2100 on her SATs, but she doesn't credit that to her academic achievement.
I don't think the SAT really mattered. You know, I read something where the SAT is a predictor of how well you'll do on the SAT.
A recent study suggests she's wrong. According to that study by the University of Minnesota, SAT scores and high school GPA are the top predictors in college achievement, not socioeconomic status.
UNC Senior Assistant Director of Admissions, Ashley Memory, says those are 2 big factors, but not the only ones.
We look at a variety of things because we think the more tools, the better.
A review by UNC found if students took 5 out of 20 courses that included upper-level classes, like AP classes, they were more likely to do well at Carolina. That's what Crider did.
I was able to take like honors classes and AP classes.
And Crider thinks something else helped her too.
So yeah, I think being able to study on my own and being able to manage my time was very important, and just kind of having that work ethic of wanting to do the best that I can.
Crider is on track to graduate in May with a nursing degree. Reporting in Chapel Hill, I'm Kiara Palmer.
The class of 2017 welcomed its first round of accepted students in January. UNC admitted more than 5,000 students from an applicant pool of more than 15,000. Accepted students were chosen from a record high number of early acceptance. The admissions office received more than 15% more applications in fall 2012 than in the fall of 2011. Here's a look at the students accepted to UNC so far. They come from 47 states and 25 countries. More than 3,600 students were accepted from North Carolina, and more than 1,700 students are out of state. 14% of applicants reported that they would be the first in their families to go to college.
And those admitted to UNC already have their first assignment as college students. A selection committee chose the book Home as the summer reading book. The book is the latest novel by Pulitzer Prize-winning author Toni Morrison. Committee members say they hope that the book will be an inspiration to students who are leaving their homes to come here to UNC. Home beat out 4 other books in the selection process. And you might want to walk between the lines next time you cross the street. Officials with the Department of Public Safety say they're cracking down on jaywalking. A single citation could cost you $25. That number could jump up to more than $150 when you include legal fees. DPS officials say they're trying to make campus streets safer for pedestrians and cyclists.
UNC's homecoming week may be long gone, but Miss UNC 2012 is nowhere close to done. Senior Colleen Daly ran for homecoming queen to publicize a program called Embody Carolina, and now it's finally taking shape. Marilyn Payne has that story.
Katie Barbie's in her last semester at UNC, and although she's involved on campus now, she feels she missed her junior year. Barbie says she spent all her time obsessed with eating and working out instead of being a part of Carolina's community.
I started working out a lot more that summer and, eating healthier, and it hadn't gotten out of control yet.
Barbie says it took almost a year and a half for her to seek help. Finally, she was diagnosed with an eating disorder in September. Then she heard about Colleen Daly and Embody Carolina.
So we wanted to pair the training and the training's debut with an awareness component. And Miss UNC, the Homecoming Campaign, presented a really beautiful opportunity for us.
Daly's one of 4 co-founders who've been working with Dr. Cynthia Bulick and the UNC Center of Excellence for Eating Disorders on the program since last year.
It creates a bridge between the student who's suffering from an eating disorder and the treatment programs.
Embody aims to teach students to effectively help someone who shows signs of an eating disorder. Founders are also interviewing potential trainers, and those trainers, called Peer Allies, will begin work this month. Then, Embody's founders are confident they'll be able to start helping students like Katie Barbie live healthy lives, not obsessive ones. Reporting in Chapel Hill, I'm Marilyn Payne.
And Sophie, I'm loving the sunshine. What a beautiful day outside.
I know, Landon. I hope this temperature stick around. Meteorologist Katie McGee with the forecast is next.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Good evening, I'm meteorologist Katie McGee, and welcome back to Carolina Week. This past Saturday, we had Groundhog's Day, and Puxatawney Phil up in Pennsylvania did not see his shadow. According to legend, that means we will have an early spring, and temperatures these past few days definitely fit that pattern. However, that is all about to change. Looking at the weather for the next few hours, 8 p.m. we can see 43 with clear skies, and midnight at 40, those clear skies will still last. However, that is expected to have clouds build throughout the evening, and we'll have 36 at 8 a.m. So if you're one of those early morning people, this is definitely not the time to forget your jacket these next few days. Looking at the satellite image currently, we can see clear skies ranging all the way from down to Georgia up to Virginia. And that's due to a high pressure system. However, what's really going to shake things up for us these next couple of days is this cloud mass down to our southwest. That's in association with a low pressure system, the L on our surface map here. And what we have right now, again, this high pressure system to our north is about to move up to the north of us. And this low pressure system is going to start creeping its way slowly but surely our way, bringing up all of that warm, moist air, building up extra precipitation, which will inevitably bring us all of that rain these next couple of days. Looking ahead at tonight, we can see that we will have scattered clouds with a light breeze present throughout the time, with temperatures in the mid to low 30s. So if you are going out to study tonight or any other activities, you definitely want to make sure you remember your jacket. And definitely keep that jacket handy around for tomorrow as well. We will see those clouds build overnight into mostly cloudy skies and evening showers, again, as that low pressure system with all of that Gulf air starts moving in, with temperatures in the low 50s for the day. Looking at tomorrow to our west, we can see a little cooler than for us. We see temperatures in the upper 40s down over near Charlotte, Hickory, 50 in the Tri-Cities, definitely colder over by the mountains, 41 in Boone. To our east, we can see temperatures in the mid-50s, Elizabeth City, Greenville at 58. Warmer for our friends down at UNC Wilmington, 62 for them. And then our 5-day forecast, again tomorrow, you can see temperatures 52 with that rain coming in overnight, lasting Saturday through Friday morning, and then clear skies Saturday as we see a high temperature of only 50 degrees and a low temperature of 27. So these next couple of days, you definitely want to make sure you keep that umbrella and jacket handy. It's going to be rainy and then cold and then rainy again. So definitely not what we've been seeing these past couple of days. Very unfortunate for us.
I know, Katie, it looks like we're getting April showers pretty early.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you so much for that. I will bring my jacket tonight.
Thank you. Oh, definitely.
Thanks,
Katie. Thank you, guys.
Running fast is easy for Roy Smith, but you won't believe how difficult it was just to walk.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
If I had asked, if I try meth, will I become an addict? Or can you really lose it on meth? Or if I'd asked, will meth become the only thing I care about? I wouldn't be asking.
All right, can you load me up again?
Here we go. We're gonna make some juice.
It's gonna be good.
She's excited. A little bit of kale.
Please don't put this on line. I'm putting it all over the line.
It's wet. It needs something. No, it'll go.
Don't break my juicer. Looks good.
You ready to try it?
Come on, baby.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
It's okay.
Okay, all right.
They might surprise you.
She took another sip. You saw it?
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
The last thing I'm going to tell you about this group is I think this group is going to be the basis for multiple championships here at University of North Carolina.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Will Reimer. That's Coach Larry Fedora with some strong words about his first recruiting class. Will these letters of intent be signs of hope for the Tar Heel defense? Fedora signed prospects who should help at each level. Brian Walker is the 14th best cornerback in the country. Greg Webb is the 15th best defensive tackle. Marquise Haynes, 44th best defensive end in the country, but Fedora plans to use him as a linebacker. 13 players signed today, in addition to the 4 players already enrolled, to form the 18th best recruiting class in the country. And junior Roy Smith played wide receiver and returned kicks for the Heels this past season. He's also a hurdler on the track team. It's amazing how fast he is, considering he thought he'd never walk again. Julian Caldwell reports.
In the fall, he returns punts, and in the spring, he clears hurdles. But this might be junior Roy Smith's biggest accomplishment.
But during the 6th grade, I really didn't think of none of those things. I really was thinking was, could I walk again?
A driver sped through a stop sign and hit Smith as he was walking to his grandmother's house.
The car ran over me, and it went like 50 feet, and then it stopped, and then I was laying there. The next thing I know, I was in the hospital. I think I blacked out for a little minute.
Smith suffered 2 major bone breaks in his lower left leg. His parents homeschooled him for a year and a half after the accident because he was embarrassed to go to school in a wheelchair or cast.
I really didn't feel like running track after that no more. And they was like, you have so much talent, you need to keep on going.
Smith continued to run track and play football in middle and high school.
And he hasn't stopped, clearing obstacles like he clears hurdles. After 2 years as a scholarship runner, in 2012, Smith tried out and made the football team. And listen to how he compares it to running track.
Football is nothing compared to track. I can get through a football workout, but sometimes I can't get through all my track workouts.
And after once losing the ability to walk, he strives to be great at both and to control his own destiny.
I really don't want to be that athlete that's like, oh, he ran track and football. I want someone to say that, oh, he did great in football and track, and he can choose whichever sport that he wants.
And if anything gets in his way, he could probably jump right over it. In Chapel Hill, I'm Julian Caldwell.
What an inspiration. A big win for the basketball team against Wake Forest last night, 87-65. And sophomore P.J. Hairston's back in action. And in his first action after coming off the bench, he finds Marcus Page for the three. Reggie Bullock led the team with 23 points, 3 of those coming right here. James Michael McAdoo, he had 20 points. The first time both he and Bullock scored at least 20 points in the same game. Hairston scored 11 points in 12 minutes, but Coach Williams says he wants to limit the guard's time as he recovers from his injury.
So I was going to try to give him no more than 2 or 3 minutes at a time. I guess he got 12 minutes, but it was good to see him back in there, and I think we are a little bit more mature, we're more experienced, but it does help us to have everybody available.
And February's Black History Month. Each week this month we'll introduce you to important members of the African American community. Tonight, it's Coach Herman Boone.
If we don't come together right now on this hollow ground, we too will be destroyed.
That's Denzel Washington playing Coach Herman Boone in Remember the Titans. This is the real Coach Herman Boone, preparing for a speech he gave on campus. So, did Washington do a good job portraying the real Coach Boone?
Denzel could talk to you for 1 minute and portray you. He's a superhuman being. If I had a son, I would like to name him after him.
But what's it like watching a movie about yourself?
It's like being in the back of a church and people are preaching your funeral. And you want to jump up and say, hey, wait a minute, that didn't happen this way.
Boone says the message of the movie is to learn to accept the soul of a man rather than dislike him based on the color of his skin. He says we haven't realized that goal yet, but he still has hope.
It's up to you, those of you who are going to replace us on the face of this earth. Make this earth a better place if you can.
Make this world a better place, like Coach Boone did.
I don't care if you like each other or not, but you will respect each other.
Changing the world, hand in hand. And you know, guys, he's actually a Mount Airy native, and he got his first coaching job in the state of North Carolina.
You know, what impressive accomplishments Coach Boone has. I know we will certainly all remember the Titans.
We sure will. Thank you, Will.
Thanks. A UNC graduate is scheduled to spin the wheel.
Details next.
If you have a story idea, call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. And if you have questions about this program, write to us at Carolina Week, Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week online at carolinaweek.org.
A UNC graduate will be spinning the wheel on TV's longest-running game show tonight. Alita Cooper graduated to UNC in December of 2011 and now calls Chapel Hill home. Tonight, she's one of 3 contestants on Wheel of Fortune. She taped the show back in November, but she couldn't tell us all the details. She did tell us she solved at least one puzzle and is planning to donate part of her winnings to the Orange County Rape Crisis Center. See Cooper in action on CBS at 7:30.
Well, I'll make sure I tune in tonight to watch her and see Vanna White.
For sure. That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night.